Hey everyone, welcome back. We're Amy and Billy Boylan with the Boylan team at eXp Realty, and this is your Northern Nevada real estate market update for April 2025.
As the weather starts to warm up and spring starts to bloom across the region, we're seeing some real momentum in the real estate housing market. This is the season when buyers come out full force and sellers start prepping their homes to get top results and top dollars.
Whether you're thinking about making a move or just like to keep your finger on the pulse of the local market, we've got everything you need to know from Reno-Sparks, Carson City, Minden, Dayton, Fernley, and all the way up to Lake Tahoe.
We're going to break down the latest trends and what we're seeing on the ground with our clients and where we think things are going as we get deeper into the second quarter of 2025.
Plus, we'll share some insights on how you can position yourself to take advantage of the current conditions, whether that's buying before rates shift again or selling while inventory is still limited.
So sit back and relax. Let's go through the numbers together.
Let's start with Reno's numbers for April 2025. Median sales price was $635,000, up 8% from April 2024. Closed sales was 233. Median days to contract was 18 days. Active inventory right now in Reno is 580 homes. Month supply of inventory is 2.5 months, which is up 45% from the same time last year. Now let's take a look at Sparks numbers for April 2025. Median sales price was $555,000, up just over 4% from the same time last year. Closed sales, 141 homes. Median days to contract was 22 days. Active inventory right now in Sparks is 268 homes. That's up 60% from the same time last year. And month supply of inventory is 1.9 months. And surprisingly, that's actually up 45% from the same time last year. Now let's take a look at Carson City's numbers for April 2025. The median sales price was $520,000. It was down just over 1% from the same time last year. Closed sales, 58 homes. Median days to contract, 25 days. Active inventory right now in Carson City is 94 homes, which is down just over 24% from April 2024. Month supply of inventory is 1.6 months of inventory, down 19% from the same time last year.
Now let's take a look at Fernley for April 2025. The median sales price was $412,500, up 7.5% from last year at the same time. Closed sales was 38, days to contract was 28. Homes moved a little bit slower in April 2025. Active inventory is 81 homes, and month supply of inventory is 2.1. I mean, it's still a solid seller's market in Fernley. Now let's take a look at Douglas County for April 2025. The median sales price was $716,500. That's down 9.9% from the same time last year. Days to contract was 20. Active inventory in Douglas County was 191 homes. Month supply of inventory is 2.9. Still a solid seller's market in Douglas County. Now let's take a look at Lyon, Story, and Churchill counties. The median sales price for April 2025 was $421,000, and that's up 5.9% from the same time last year. Days to contract was 29 days. Homes moved this a little bit slower than last year. Active inventory is 251 homes. Month supply of inventory is 2.9 months, which means it's still a pretty solid seller's market in Lyon, Story, and Churchill County as of April 2025. Now let's zoom out and take a look at the entire region.
Okay, so April 2025 numbers for the 6 counties. Median sales price was $560,000, up 3.7% from the same time last year. Closed sales was 590 homes. Median days to contract was 21 days. Active inventory right now in the region is 1,433 homes, up almost 30% from the same time last year. And month supply of inventory is 2.4 months. Still a seller's market, but the inventory is up over 28% from the same time last year.
So what does all that mean? What do all these numbers mean? And they could mean something different to each one of you.
Now that's true. As a buyer, you're seeing that the prices have gone up. However, it's showing that the market's not going to crash. There's no crash coming. Homes are continually appreciating. And it means you buy a house now, it's going to be worth more next year. Sellers, it means you're seeing equity keep increasing in your home, right?
Absolutely. And the great news is, here's a win for buyers and sellers. As Amy mentioned, 98.6% of price received when they list a home. There's a 1.4% difference. And with the median sales price being $560,000, that's $7,000 to $8,000. That's great for buyers because you can use that towards concessions or buying down a rate. And it's great news for sellers because they're continuing getting equity and they're getting a lot of money for their home of what they're asking for. It's great news for a buyer and great news for a seller. So what does that month supply of inventory mean?
So when we're looking at, let's say, for example, we're looking at the region, 2.4 months supply of inventory. That means if no more homes were listed as of today, in 2.4 months, there'd be no more homes on the market. When we're looking at under 3 months, we're in a very solid seller's market. And as the number inches up, we get into our balanced market, even into a buyer's market at 4 to 6 months.
So even though of all the regions we talked about, we're still in the inventory still in the solid seller's market, don't be afraid to ask for concessions to buy down your rate or help you with closing costs. Because sellers know they got tons of equity and their bottom line, they may be willing to help and get their home sold sooner. So don't be afraid to ask. All they can say is yes, no, or maybe. Don't be afraid to ask for those concessions. So as I said at the beginning of this, all these numbers can mean something different to you. And that's why it's so important to sit down with Amy and I for a no obligation consultation to go through what these numbers can mean to you and what your objectives are for you and your family.
And let us help you build your roadmap to either selling, buying, or both.
Or even investing. Thanks for watching. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing you next time.
For all your real estate news, local market updates, and Northern Nevada lifestyle and events, check us out on all your favorite socials.
We're Amy and Billy Boylan, the eXp Realty and the Boylan team.
Make the Boylan team your team.
Make sure you turn on notifications and ring that bell. And put a comment in there with your address and your neighborhood, and we'll get you the numbers, what's going on directly on your street. We love what we do.
And you will too.